Chemical engineering is amazing, right? Engineering to me is amazing. In fact, to be honest with you, I do comedy to support my engineering habit because it's a cool thing. But I remember something. When I went to school, my professor said, Sai, you need to major in engineering. It will build character. Now I know what they meant. As a chemical engineer, you get laid off very often. And I found out that really builds character. I am an expert on layoff. You all remember what our professors and everybody used to tell you? Ask a lot of questions, think outside the box, and never give up. Well, that's a recipe to get fired. My resume today says, I have never been outside the box. So you know what I did after layoff? I did what many engineers do, I think. I took on one of the most exciting, amazing jobs in America. Can anybody guess what that job was? I became a high school math teacher at a public school in Texas. Talk about hostile audience. I remember my first interview did not go as well. You know, all these schools, what they do is they have these new buildings, and all the interviewees are taken there, right? So there I'm walking in the hallway of this brand new building, and the principal looks at me and he says, Dr. Ranade, that's the group of kids you'll be teaching next year when you join us. And I looked there and I said, oh, that must be remedial algebra. And he said, wow, you already guessed it. How did you guess that? Well, I don't see any Asians in there. No, that interview did not go as well as I thought it should. So American kids are #1 in hip hop, but not doing so well in STEM, right? So I have a suggestion. We need to make the names of scientists exciting. What do you guys think? Make them exciting. You know how you have MC Hammer? Y'all remember MC Hammer? MC Light? How about MC Square Einstein? You have Busta Rhymes. How about Marie Busta Atom Curie? And my favorite, you have Sean the Puff Daddy Combs. How about the father of atomic bomb, Robert the Puff Daddy Oppenheimer? And I find out that when I read a book, like by Stephen Hawking, The Grand Design or something like that, for 2 days I'm an expert. And then the third day I start sounding like an idiot. And of course I was like, okay, so where do we use quantum physics? And so I'm thinking a civil engineer having a conversation with his project manager. Okay, well, like the project manager says, oh, you were supposed to finish 2 pipelines. One for water and one for sewage. I just see one line there. You know, it depends on the observer. Actually, there are 2 lines. It just depends on, once you observe it and it appears like water, and then you observe it again, it could be a sewage line. I swear to Higgs boson particle. I think I was at the airport and I saw this restaurant and it said something like homemade ice cream. And then as I sat down, it said something like home style cooking. And I'm thinking to myself, who is doing marketing for these people? Home style cooking, that's like a hooker offering home style loving. But before I go any further, a friend of mine is a doctor, and you know we had this Affordable Care Act, so he's pissed off, right? So I'm talking about it, so he's like, oh, why are you talking about this Affordable Care Act? How come there is no Affordable Engineering Act? So I showed him my paycheck. How come there is a word like aftermath, but there is no after gym or after biology? And have you noticed aftermath of everything is always bad? In the aftermath of the bombing, in the aftermath of the earthquake, people are dying. No wonder kids in America are afraid of math. Wouldn't you be? And talking about aftermath, by applause, how many of you still remember Hurricane Katrina, Rita, Ike fiasco? By applause. I was in Houston when first Hurricane Rita came through and then Hurricane Ike came through, and I have learned my lesson and I feel compelled to share it with you this evening. And during hurricanes, there is something really happens with all these authorities. They don't plan really well, and then what do they tell the citizens? They give you a phrase. Any kind of evacuation, they don't want you to do that. So they give you a phrase. Anybody remember what that phrase is? Hunker down. Try saying that right now. You know what I'm talking about? Hunker down. I found out that phrase is really cool if you are telling someone else to do it. It is not cool when you are trying to hunker down. Let me explain what hunker down means. Looking for C-size batteries all day long because your dumbass radio only takes C-size batteries. And then sitting scared, shitless in your bed for 16 hours, right, in total darkness, wondering about all those lights and praying to God that the tree that you just heard falling was your tree falling on the neighbor's yard rather than the other way. And you know what happens on the radio? You know what they say? Tomorrow is going to be a beautiful day. I ain't hunkering down no more. Right, so what I thought was, what if I was running to be the President of the United States, and you, the Pipeline Conference, invited me to give a little talk? What would that be like? So I want you to participate, okay? So I'm going to go back there, I'm going to walk in, and of course, what I'm going to say? Ranade. You know, this is like that one of those convention things. But you will see the strangeness of all this. So on cue, I want you to do that, okay? And you know what, this is something they have to do, although the applaud has already died. Thank you for inviting me here today. I am, as you know, running for the President of the United States. Okay, now, so most of these guys, I found out they always are pandering to the special interest. And I am tired of that. I will not do that, ladies and gentlemen. This is something my administration will not do. However, first day of office, I will approve the Keystone XL pipeline. In fact, I would like to make this, I would like to insist that we transport milk and honey by pipelines. Make this the land of milk and honey pipelines. These guys are talking about social media. Looking at you, you don't need social media. Okay, why do you need Facebook? And why do you need Twitter? In my administration, we'll use Excel. We'll just do everything by Excel. And I want to tell you something. If I become the president, one of the first things I will do is we will build a wall along the Gulf Coast to stop all the hurricanes. Wait a minute. No. We'll actually build 2 giant pipelines which will be like a wall along the Gulf Coast to stop all those hurricanes. And here is what I want to tell you, friends. When things get tough, I want you to hunker down. And when things are not going your way, un aplauso, por favor.